Everybody remembers their school bully. Mine wasn't just mean. She was strategic about it, thus she knew exactly when teachers weren't looking, exactly where adults couldn't hear. And for 8 straight years, there was nowhere I could escape her. But in 6th grade, she made one mistake, and I turned her own laziness into the most humiliating moment of her life. If you love stories where bullies finally get what's coming to them, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and comment below with the worst bully you ever dealt with. Because this one is pure academic revenge. So I grew up going to a small Catholic school, and when I say small, I mean tiny. The kind of school where every kid knew everything about everybody. Same classrooms, same teachers, same faces, year after year after year, and unfortunately for me, that meant 8 years with Jackie. Now Jackie wasn't just your average popular girl. She was the kind of kid who treated cruelty like a hobby. Some bullies lash out because they're insecure. Some because they want attention, Jackie. Genuinely seem to enjoy humiliating people, especially. Me, I was the exact kind of kid bullies love. Targeting that quiet, shy, awkward, kid who always sat near the corner of the classroom with a book, pressed against her face like a shield. I barely talked, not because I thought I was better than anyone. Honestly, I was terrified of everyone, and books became my escape hatch. While other kids were outside yelling and playing games, I was buried in novels way above my grade level. Reading was the one place nobody could interrupt me. Nobody could laugh at me. Nobody could make me feel small. But Jackie tried anyway. Since we rode the same bus, I couldn't even leave school stress at school. The bus rides were the worst. Teachers weren't there. Parents weren't there. It was 30 minutes of absolute freedom for kids like Jackie. She'd make comments loud enough for everyone to hear. Oh, look, she's reading again. Does she even have friends? Maybe if she read less, she'd know how to talk like a normal person. And the worst part? Other kids laughed because it was safer to laugh with Jackie than risk becoming her next target, so I just stared down at my book and pretend I couldn't hear my heartbeat pounding in my ears. Now, despite all this, there was one teacher who actually ran a disciplined classroom. Our 6th grade teacher, Sister Louise. And let me tell you, Sister Louise did not play around. That woman could silence a room with one look. Nobody bullied anyone in her classroom because nobody was stupid enough to try it in front of her. But once class ended, different story, 1 month. Sister Louise assigned a book report project. Every student had the choices. Either write a traditional paper or make some kind of craft project like a diorama and give a short presentation. Simple enough that now remember what I said earlier about Jackie, cruel? Absolutely that's popular. Definitely that's smart. Not even remotely. Jackie hated reading, actually. Hated might be too generous, as she refused to do anything that required effort. So a few months into the school year, presentation week started, and Jackie went first. She stood at the front of the room holding this little showbox diorama she'd clearly thrown together at the last second. The book she chose was easy, too. Like 4th grade reading level easy, which honestly should have been a red flag already. But then she started presenting. And almost immediately, something felt off that at first I couldn't figure out why. Then it hit me so I had already read that book, not recently, but enough to remember the plot. And what Jackie was describing wasn't even close, not slightly wrong, not forgot a few. Details, I mean she had completely. Invented an entirely different story. It slowly dawned. I mean that she hadn't read the book at all, that not even the summary. On the back cover, she had literally looked at the illustration on the front and made up a story. Based on the picture, and somehow, she stood there confidently presenting this nonsense like nobody would notice. I remember sitting frozen at my desk thinking, are you serious right now? Meanwhile, Sister Louise had this tiny crease between her eyebrows, the kind teachers get when they know something isn't adding up. But Jackie finished her presentation, sat down smugly, and class moved on now normally. I probably would have stayed quiet. That's what shy kids do, that we survive by staying invisible. But that afternoon on the bus, Jackie was especially vicious. Maybe she felt untouchable after getting away with cheating. Maybe she was in a bad mood, whatever it was. She spent the entire ride tearing into me, making fun of my clothes, mocking the way I talked, snatching at the book in my lap while her friends laughed, and something inside me finally snapped, not loudly and not dramatically. Quiet people don't usually explode outward, that we implode first. I remember gripping my backpack so tightly my knuckles hurt while one thought kept repeating in my head. She really thinks nobody can touch her. Then another thought appeared. Oh, but I can. That night, I went to the public libraries and I checked out the exact same book Jackie had read. I didn't even need to fully reread it because I already knew the story. But I skimmed through every chapter carefully, refreshing details in my memory, that character names, plot twists, tiny moments, everything Jackie had gotten wrong. And then I wrote the most thorough book report of my entire sixth grade life. I wasn't just writing a report anymore. I was building a case. Every paragraph was deliberate. I made sure, too. Include specific scenes, important dialogue, subtle themes this minute, details nobody could possibly know without actually reading a book. And the entire time, one thought kept fueling me. If she wants to humiliate people publicly, then she could experience it too. The best part? I never accused her directly. I never said. Jackie lied. I didn't have. 2. The truth was going to do all the work for me. Presentation week ended. Friday came, and Sister Louise handed back the grades. I still remember the feeling in that classroom. Paper rustling, got kids whispering, the smell of pencil shavings and old books. Then I looked down at minus 100% on her. Giant red across the top dot and out of the corner of my eye. I saw Jackie staring at her paper like she'd been slapped at 25%, as she only got points because she technically made the diorama. That was it. The room buzzed instantly. Kids started whispering. How'd she fail that bad? What happened? Jackie's face turned bright red, and for once, she wasn't the loudest person in the room anymore. But the real fallout came later. Apparently her mother had to schedule a meeting with Sister Louise, and after that meeting, everything changed suddenly. Students could no longer pick just any random easy book, as now all books had to either come from an approved sixth grade reading list or get individually approved by Sister Louise herself. The entire class was furious, and guess who they blamed? Jackie snapped me at hers because everyone knew exactly why the rule changed. On the bus ride home that day, Jackie was absolutely losing her mind, ranting, complaining. I got caught because somebody else did the same stupid book. If they hadn't copied my book, none of this would have happened. And I sat there quietly in my seat by the window, staring down at my novel, trying not to smile, because the funniest part, she never even suspected me in her mind. I was the weird, quiet book girl who only read giant advanced novels. Why would I waste time doing a report on a simple children's chapter book? So she kept searching for some mystery person who exposed her, while sitting to seats away from the person who actually did it. And honestly, that made it even sweeter. But my favorite moment came a few days later. I had to get my next book approved under the new rules or so. I walked up to Sister Louise's desk holding this thick novel way above grade leveled. She adjusted her glasses, looked at the cover, then looked directly at me, and there was this tiny little smirk, not enough for anyone else to notice. But I noticed. Then she said, "Yes, this seems much more appropriate for your reading level." That was it. That no lecture, that no direct acknowledgement. But in that moment, I knew she knew exactly what I'd done. And honestly, I think part of her respected it, because I had finally fought back in the only way I knew how. Not with fists, not with screaming, not with drama, but with intelligence. And for one brief, glorious moment, the quiet kid won. Looking back now, over 40 years later, I know schools handle bullying differently today. Back then there weren't anti-bullying assemblies or zero-tolerance policies. Most adults basically told kids to survive it. And that's exactly what a lot of shy kids did. We survived quietly. But every once in a while, one of us found the perfect opportunity to stop being invisible. And when that happens, the revenge tends to be unforgettable. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. What's the smartest revenge you've ever seen someone pull off against a bully? And remember, never underestimate the quiet kid with a library card.